Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Monstera Hut, a place I share my journey and lesson learned while taking care of my houseplants. Today, I'll be sharing with you how I'm going to repot my new Monstera Adansonii Variegated Albo. You can read from my blog about how I managed to own one of these very rare species of Monstera Adansonii, and what sacrifice I have to make in allowing me to own one. Before I show you how I will repot this plant, I need to let you know that I usually will let my newly acquired plant acclimatize to my home environment for about 3 days. Deacclimatization will reduce the shock to the plant due to the change of environment. I find this step is very important before I put them into another shock by repotting them. In this video, I will be using self-watering pot. I love self-watering pot because I find it easy so that I don't have to keep watering my plant as frequent as those in a normal pot. Now, let's get into it. Now, as you can see, this is the self-watering pot. It consists of 3 parts. One is the outer pot, which also acts as a water container. The second part is the inner pot, which will act as a soil container. And the last part is the string that can absorb water from the reservoir to moisten the soil. So first, I will install the string to the inner pot like this. Then I will add some sphagnum moss at the bottom, but make sure the string holds the moss like this. Then I layer the whole inner pot bottom with the moss like this. I like to do this because the string will absorb water and moisten the moss at the bottom. Then it will slowly moisten the soil above it. Then I layer it with soil like this. Now, let's take out the new plant, which was rooted in sphagnum moss. I will take it out and put the whole thing into the inner pot that I have prepared just now. Did you notice the mistake I made? I put the whole plant without removing the moss. I only realized this mistake after talking to a friend. She mentioned that having moss in the soil like that, the moss will tend to get very wet and it could cause roots to rot. So, lesson learned guys, don't do this. Now, let's redo this and slowly and carefully remove the moss from the plant. Do this gently. We do not want to damage the roots. So now, all the moss has been removed. It's time to put it back into the soil. Before that, I have to layer the pot again with some moss. but make sure the string is holding the moss as you can see here. Since there is no more moss covering the roots, I will wet the soil first before putting the plant into it. I will never introduce my plants into dry soil to reduce the shock to the roots. Then, I start filling the pot with some soil to avoid the roots from getting in contact with the moss. Then, after putting the plant in, I slowly cover it with soil like this. Don't press the soil too much as we do not want to compact it, just enough to hold the plant. Now, let's water it. Do this slowly as we do not want to disturb the soil. It is very important to use well-draining soil as it will not hold too much water that will cause roots to rot. You can tell that the soil that you are using is a good draining soil if you see the water running through it like this. So water will be collected at the bottom of the pot and the string will slowly absorbing the water to moisten the soil above it. So there you go guys, I have successfully repotted my new Monstera Adansonii Variegated Albo into this self-watering pot. If you want to know the progress of this plant, you can visit my blog at www.monsterahut.com. Bye for now.